Good evening, everyone. At least evening where I am right now. So, it's basically insomnia talking, I think. And I thought, why not take this time of not sleeping and get creative and do something. I've been writing on another retrospective episode for a while now, and I was very unsure where to go. Because obviously, there's a lot of bands that mean a lot to me, and that they had an impact on some of you out there, obviously, or maybe some in the local metal scene over here, like we did it with the last episode with Deadlock. But then I thought, why not go back to some black metal? We haven't done black metal in a while here. So black metal is still very tasty to my ears, and I haven't listened to this band in ages. So the band is called Xanthochroid. Yes, I am pretty much convinced that 98% of you guys have never heard of Xanthochroid. And I can't blame you there, because this is a very small but very epic melodic black metal project that started in 2005 in the US. And they released a bunch of singles here and there, covered some Winter Sun songs, for example. That's where I basically learned about this band. But then again, they had like 3 records that blew my face off if it comes to orchestration, if it comes to the scale, the sheer epicness, the theatrical quality. The whole thing that they created with these 3 records is nuts. Just counting the names here. Blessed He With Boils from 2012. I think maybe the closest thing I could like compare it to is Xanthochroid resembles a lot the big like Dimmu Borgir, Opeth, World Run, for example, but it's very folk heavy and it's very theatrical. And it's very fast also. I mean, if they push the button to go fast, they go fast, you know. It can be like from very soft passage with female operatic vocals, the blast beat just in the next second, you know. It goes very like a vine, basically. Let's call it a vine. I think that's a good term, and it fits also with this band. They really know how to intervene their whole fantasy genre, self-created lore, basically what they created with these 3 records. And sadly though, the last record came out in 2017. And since then, this band has been on hold. So that's a bummer, at least for me it is, because I miss this band. I was lucky enough to already know them by the time they released the last 2 records, because it was basically one big record, split into 2. Yes, we got some Winter Sun reminders here and there, but at least it got released in time and not in 10 years spam. So the record is called Of Earth and Axon, and it's split into Act 1 and Act 2. And obviously I will focus on these particular 2 more with some. I picked out 2 songs actually that I wanted to react to again after so many years. Again, it's next year it will be 10 years since this record came out, so time flies. And sadly though, since there's nothing new from Xanthochroid to enjoy, I still kind of, you know, I feel the nostalgia, and I really like to go back there, because it's been a while really since I haven't heard anything from them. And so kind of yeah, a reminiscent journey back to the fantasy epic black metal scale. And I think I choose the right pick for this episode. As said, they started in 2005, and they released a bunch of stuff. So there was obviously Incultus, the EP from 2011. I get why those fans who know the band love this EP dearly. To me, honestly, it was definitely a nice touch, but I could not definitely get behind the whole idea, because there's a lot missing, in my opinion, on these few songs. But then again, I did only realize this band existed with the Land of Snow and Sorrow single, the cover from Winter Sun, and with that, obviously, the build-up came along, and I was a fan by the time Blessed He With Boils came out. And again, if you could like take a theater fill it with metalheads, and put a band that basically plays theatrical, epic black metal, it would be the perfect setting for this band. I have no clue what it is, what makes this band, in my opinion at least, so good, but it's just, the whole storytelling level is so detailed, and there's actually a listening guide. So, especially with the later records of Earth and Accent, Act 1 and Act 2, they released it on vinyl, so I was very, very lucky enough to order it in advance and to actually have one here. I don't have it here right now, but they have their own game involved, you know, their own like chess game kind of thing that they developed for this whole world. That's insane, you know, that's insane. I mean, I am creative, yes, but not on that level. But I think we have to focus on the two records that mean most. So, Of Earth and Accent Part 1 and 2, the core setting, it takes basically place in a mythical world and resembles like decaying medieval realm, ruled by feudal powers, ancient fates and stuff. And there's basically like two brothers. I think that's the key point to their story. That's why I'm saying it's kind of reminiscent of Game of Thrones and this kind of things. There's Thanos and Cinder. No, not Thanos from Avengers, okay, it's a different one. But Thanos and Cinder, who is also known as Raptor. Yes, we are getting very nerdy here, but I mean, if you like D&D, World of Warcraft and all these kind of things, this is nothing new to you guys. It's basically world building what they do. The main themes of the record, and that is, I think, a very interesting part. It's religious corruption, for example, false divinity, you know, rebellion against godlike creatures, nature reclaiming civilizations, all these things. And it's just like, the key idea is like faith used as a weapon creates monsters on both sides. So it's way too much to put in this video in one go. As said, the listening guide, I think it's several pages long, really, and it's just insane to like just read through it on its own. You have to get the record, you listen to it, you read along, and it makes sense on a very, very high level. Again, I know from many people who reacted or who reviewed Xanthochroid back then in the days, thought it was kind of, the good intentions were there, the orchestrations were, I mean, for a DIY project, the orchestrations are maybe on a high level as Nightwish orchestrations, okay? Very, very layered, very wall of sound oriented, and pushes the whole songs forward, and it's throughout. It's not like you have to listen to the whole records, and I mean not Act 1 or 2, no, you start with 1 and you finish with 2. That's how it is. It's very poetic, it's very deep. It's I don't know, it's your typical, you know, heroes versus villains kind of things, but you have a lot of sympathy for the villain as well. So I don't know, it's you have to get into it basically. What I personally enjoy even more about this project is the fact that they didn't take themselves very serious back in the day. There's I'm not sure if it's still on YouTube, there's a documentary about this band, how they started basically their journey, and they got a few very good gigs in the US, and they really started to become a name and make a name from themselves. And then with the second act done, basically this band was, I will not say doomed to disappear into nothingness, but that's where we are at currently. So I don't think there will be something new coming out of Xanthochroid anytime soon, if ever. And I think if I might say, obviously there's other things, other priorities in life. I'm just glad that this concept record is from start to finish, trust me on that, from start to finish, is a masterpiece. It's such an enjoyable, such an interactive, basically, listening experience. It's the audiobook without being an audiobook. That's my opinion. So when it comes to music videos, obviously there was not that much choice. But I feel with these two that I picked out today, they contrast each other so well. because one is purely acoustic and the other one is an orchestral metal like overload of epic storytelling basically. And one is from Act 1, so basically In Deep and Wooded Forest of My Youth is the first song that we'll check out again after so much time, at least for me. And then we'll be checking out Of Gods Bereft of Grace, and you'll see what I mean. It's freaking enjoyable, as I remember it being enjoyable, so we'll find out again today. It's been so long since I've heard these songs, so I'm very, very excited to share this with you and see where this is going. I haven't seen this like in, 9 years, I think. Beautiful setting. And the guitar work, it comes back instantly. I wish I had his hair. Just saying.
I know the place where memory sleeps.
Yep. It doesn't seem like a metal band, but it is. It is. There's not so much going on there, but it comes back to me very vividly. I remember this like this is in the middle of the first record, really the middle part, and it makes total sense, you know.
The sighing stream, this endless forest stream, are you still too blind to see it? The force that feeds our endless needs, this deep and wooded dream that is my heart.
Yes, it comes back instantly. The feel is different.
Scorching raven smile, writhing putrid vile, his sharpened tongue, his spear to kill.
I have to listen to the whole bracket again. This is bringing back a lot of memories, even though it's just like 9 years ago, but
The song of soil, the vine's exquisite coil, but faded footprints of my past. But night will fall, and while the midnight forest breathes, I will not leave my
yep, I remember this quite well now. It's still such a freaking good song. Makes me even sad now knowing that probably this band will never produce anything again. But yeah, that was in deep and wooded forest of my youth. And as said, fully acoustic, you know. That shows how much thought, and that is really how it is, how much thought they put into the music. It's so balanced and so heavily world building. If it's like musically or visually, as you can tell, even though again, this I think the second video that we'll check out will just be an official lyric video, but the whole aesthetic behind this idea of what Xanthochroid is speaks for itself, and it just makes total sense. But we'll lose no time here. We'll jump straight into Of God's Bereft of Grace from Of Earth and Accent Part 2. So let's see the difference, but let me tell you, there is. As said, blast beats, you know, and a lot of orchestration. It's freaking theatrical all over. And also, the focus on the vocals is always at the foreground, like, so that's very modern, like, even back then. And always this perfect cut between the hard and the heavy, the hard and the soft. Such a shame. It's so freaking nice. I really love this band. And I'm glad I'm doing this today. I will definitely go back and listen to the whole discography after this, 100%. It's these playful breaks that make their songs, I think, a lot more enjoyable and like it's a whole listening experience, basically. Back to the blast at the end. I will have to go back. I mean, it's been so long since I heard the whole record in full. This does not necessarily make sense on its own, but it's like just to show the amount of diversity and thought that went into these, especially these two records. I highly suggest that you check out Xanthochroid, even though if maybe there's like, I haven't checked out if they have still like a website or, but they are definitely on Bandcamp. I think they're on all streaming services still. So let me know in the comments what you think. In my opinion, this would have been maybe one of the biggest epic black metal projects ever. Sadly though, it's just like 3 records, but they deliver a lot, and I will go back. I will basically stop this recording right now and I will go back and listen to these records. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this kind of more like a shorter retrospective. Yeah, so we see each other again here very soon, and thank you very much for watching, and until next time.